What's up in Philly, man?
Nothing. It's a fucking another loss, another depressing week, another group of angry fans.
That's awesome. So let's start out with your Philadelphia Eagles, who have to face their old coach, Andy Reid, for Thursday Night Football. Yeah, you guys have problems.
Yeah, they got mollywopped. They look horrible. You get up on the Eagles and it's a wrap because Vic starts to press with his arm instead of pressing with his legs, and then it's just turnover city. He's not a good quarterback. He can't read defenses. He makes some god-awful throws, and I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, who looks a lot like him, just a younger version, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I think Colin Kaepernick has going for him is he's 6'6", and Vic is, you know, you see Vic's height, and it's, you know, you start to see, okay, it's when he's pressing and he can't read defense and he has to throw over those 6'5", 6'4", 6'6" linemen, he struggles like shit, man. I mean, he makes those, most of the plays he makes is when he gets outside of the pocket and he gets a vision on the field and he just kind of creates something, you know. But yeah, they've got their issues.
Their biggest issue, Philadelphia's biggest issues is on next Sunday at 1 p.m. No, it's at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, they'll be in Denver catching one of the worst ass whippings of the entire season.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, man. That defense will get tired because they faced Denver. We saw what Denver just did, last night to fucking Oakland. I mean, Denver's crazy. Peyton Manning is crazy. They're running an offense and getting off as many plays probably as the Eagles are getting off. And when you're going to be up at Mile High with that altitude and your defense, Philly's defense is going to be crazy. God knows what Denver's going to put up when they face the Redskins. Because, I mean, this guy, I just don't know, man. I don't know how watching Peyton Manning pick apart everybody last night, it's just amazing to me. And he has a new offensive coordinator again. It's just, I don't know, man. It's going to be fucking tough to see for your boys next week, unfortunately.
Oh, it's gonna be brutal. I honestly, this past week, I think the largest point spread was 17, and that was Seattle dealing with Jacksonville. That's gonna pale in comparison compared to what we're about to see. And Eric Reese, who's the consummate Eagles fan, has gone out to say that, you know, what if the Eagles win? And I'm like, if the Eagles win, I'm driving to Delaware and buying you dinner wherever you want.
Exactly. And you know what?
There's no way. Like, look, I mean, you might want to call me a fair weather fan or not a real fan. No, I'm just being honest. The Eagles have no chance.
To be honest, George, no, you're being a real fan. You're not talking about it with your heart. You know, like I see it a lot of times here living in the D.C. area. The people are, you know, we'll keep it in the NFC East, everybody, since we're talking about.
Oh my God.
We'll switch it to the Redskins. People are like, oh, what's up? The Redskins are terrible, and everybody wants to put the blame on RG3. RG3's got the 5th leading passer in the NFL right now. I mean, he has to be because his defense is so fucked up. I mean, if anybody who knows football cannot see that the problem is the Redskins' defense. When you've given up in 3 games more yards than any team has in the first 3 games in NFL history, there's a huge problem there. You don't have the personnel, and probably, I think,
ouch.
You know, huh?
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you've given up 1,200 yards, I think. Almost 1,500 yards in the first 3 games. You can't win football games like that.
No bueno.
The Giants.
But hold on. Your boys do have a shot at winning next week. They're playing at Oakland.
They're playing at Oakland, and obviously Terrelle Pryor got a concussion. You know, I think honestly the Redskins can pull this game out because it seems like every week the offense is at least performing better. And I don't see them, I mean, obviously, you know, the Raiders don't have a lot of good receivers. I mean, their receiving core is young as shit. They don't have anybody. And now you might not even have Terrelle Pryor. You might have Matt Flynn throwing to him. So that becomes an issue in itself. So I think the Redskins will probably squeak this one out. If the Redskins cannot beat the Raiders, then they have major issues. Their season's pretty much a wrap. I don't see them coming and doing anything from an 0-4 hole after not being able to beat, you know, if they lost to the Raiders, one of the worst teams in the NFL.
And going on to the New York Giants, I think they are running a new game plan. It's called Operation Let's Get Our Head Coach Fired.
Which, you know, it's funny. People say that all the time, but it's so you and I have said it a million times. Then Tom Coughlin turns around and does some miracle shit, and they go to the Super Bowl.
He's done. There's no more miracles. His defense has no pass rush. They have no coverage. They have no offense. Eli Manning threw his 8th interception in 3 games. It's a wrap. It's time to let Tom Coughlin go. time to move, change up systems, do something new. Their defense is abysmal, and they get to go to Kansas City. They're not beating Kansas City.
Yeah, they're not going to. I mean, they'll probably start out 0-4 because the Chiefs right now have one of the best defenses. So far, 3 games in the season have one of the best defenses in the league. They actually have the best ranked defense right now.
And they have an offense that does not make mistakes. They don't have a turnover yet.
Now, Dallas is sitting easy. I mean, obviously, they did what they had to do this week against St. Louis. I think they beat them 31-7. Romo looked pretty decent. The problem is that the Lions lost Spencer for the entire season, and that's their other DE. And that now you're going to be able to double team which one's on the other end. That's going to hurt the Cowboys once again. But to be honest with you, them sitting in the NFC East, I don't see them having much of a problem winning that division because there's really, at this point in time, no one to challenge their ass.
No, the NFC East is wide open, and it's horrible. It's wide. It's probably, honestly, the worst division in football right now.
It really is. I mean, it's just. Whoosh. Now, other news. Let's talk about.
Well, Dallas has to go to San Diego next week, which could be interesting. I mean, San Diego's defense isn't great, but their offense seems to be clicking. So it'll be. I still think Dallas should win the game, and just because I hate Phillip Rivers, so I think this is the only time I would ever cheer for Dallas. So it'll be a fun one.
I mean, San Diego struggled. They lost to Tennessee this week. A lot of people, Jake Locker looked pretty good. I mean, people are like, oh, it's kind of whatever, because San Diego probably has the second worst defense in the league, second to the Redskins, and Philly's right behind them.
Yeah, I was about to say Philly's closing in on that.
But you know what? I'm not going to knock Tennessee. Tennessee's been in pretty much every game they played this year. I think they're 2-1. They look good. Jake Locker looks good. I mean, everybody's like knocking him. I'm like, hey man, the guy's young. He scrambled. He picked up like 60 yards rushing, in addition to 2 touchdowns in the air. I think you got to give it to him. I think you got to give him a chance. Go ahead.
And Tennessee plays at home next week. They host the Jets, and they should beat the Jets. Even though the Jets did look promising this week, Geno Smith led them back and kept them in the game, and it was it'll be, I don't want to say interesting, but I mean, it's not a game I'm going to be able to see easy, but I don't think it's a game even at 4 o'clock that I'd tune in, because there's other 4 o'clock games Actually, you know what? Out of all the 4 o'clock games, unless you're a Peyton Manning fan, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, there's not too many good 4 o'clock games going on. I mean, the Jets beat Buffalo. It's funny, George, because it's like, Geno Smith is finding a way to win these games. And you know what's funny? It's going to build his confidence. I mean, if you look at it, the Jets are 2-1?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jets fans have to be happy with that. I really can honestly say it seems like there was so much bad luck on Mark Sanchez's side. Not just bad quarterback play, but the butt fumble, all kinds of fucked up shit was happening when he was taking the snap. And it's like Geno Smith seems to have luck on his side. Shit happens. The ball falls in the right place. He's playing better each week. You know what? 8 games into the season, 9 games into the season, this guy might have some swag and they might end up 500. Who knows what they might do.
I don't think the Jets had a lot of high hopes after that week 1, but I mean, they won 2 in a row, so it's looking up.
Yes, they're still looking up. Now, let's talk about the Steelers. Because they faced Chicago. Chicago went through them. We'll talk about both these teams. The Steelers they're a team that is just on both sides of the ball. I mean, their defense is giving up.
Time to blow that thing up.
It really is, man. I mean, you know what?
And I love how, in the Steeler world, everyone wants to blame it on the rift between the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. I guess at the end of the season or by week 8, we'll figure out which one it is, because one of them's gonna have to go if that's the issue. Because their offense is just, I don't know if they could score on a 10-man team. I mean, if they were playing against a defense that had 10, maybe 9 or 10 guys, I think they'd have a shot at scoring. But even then, it might be dicey. They got no running game. Ben Roethlisberger has no time to throw. I mean, that dude is running for his life on every snap.
And the bottom line is just like the Redskins. Everybody wants to blame it on the offense with the Steelers and the Redskins. The Steelers have problems for the first time on the defensive side of the ball. They gave up 40 fucking points to Chicago. Okay, Chicago's got a decent offense, but 40 points? You never see the Steelers defense giving up that time of those kind of
No, but I'm going to tell you right now, Chicago's hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, they're rolling.
Yeah, Chicago. I mean, this next week for Chicago. Well, Pittsburgh's going to Minnesota, and I think they should win that because Minnesota is a god awfully bad football team. Because everyone is putting all their defenders in the box and telling Adrian Peterson, "You're not going to beat us." Has he rushed for 100 yards yet this season in a game?
I don't think he has. I mean,
I want to say no.
Rushers. Yeah.
Because in week one, I think he had a 70-yard rush and still didn't rush for 100 yards.
I do know he doesn't have 300 yards rushing. I think he has like 280-something yards rushing. So, yeah.
Okay.
He hasn't hit 100 mark. I mean, you know, I mean, Steelers, maybe they could do something. I mean, they're both them and the Vikings sitting at 0-3. The Steelers, I would say, you know, we picked Cincinnati to win that division, and that's looking very good for them right now. I mean, obviously it'll be between them and Baltimore, but, you know, shit, Cleveland could end up finishing better than Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but Chicago next week travels to Detroit. That should be a punch you in the mouth game. That should be fun. The problem is Detroit just lost Nate Burleson into a pizza.
I know, man. Is that what happened? Like, I know.
Yeah, he was driving his Yukon, his SUV, and supposedly the pizza started sliding off the passenger seat, and he grabbed it, and when he looked up, he hit a median. My thing is where was this pizza you were ordering where they wouldn't deliver it to you?
I know, man. It must have been some good ass pizza where he's like, I gotta roll up and get this joint myself, you know?
Because I think he's supposed to have surgery like today or tomorrow, to have his arm fixed.
He's out for the season. For the first time you saw, you know, Detroit, the Lions had like a double threat at wide receiver. Now people are going to be like, all right, let's just fucking double team Calvin Johnson all day. You know?
Yeah, but then Reggie Tush is going to come out of the backfield and kill him if he can stay healthy because he's got a bum wheel.
Yeah, but Burleson was their leading receiver. I mean, catch-wise, you know, so I mean, it's a big loss for Detroit, man. And you're looking at
Hedge.
You know, huh?
It's a huge loss.
It's a huge loss, and you're looking at them taking that loss. You're looking at Green Bay is 1-2, and they're struggling to let Cincinnati come back on them. I know Cincinnati's a good team, but you blew a big lead.
Well, I mean, that was a great game. Cincinnati jumped up 14, Green Bay scores 30, and then Cincinnati comes back and wins the game.
Right. You know,
who the hell saw that coming?
I didn't think. I mean, I knew Cincinnati was going to be a good team, but they're good on both sides of the ball. So the NFC North looks. You know, it's there for the Bears to take. I mean, they look strong, and you know they got a good little lead. I think, you know, I mean Detroit's right behind them, but shit, Detroit could start to slide a little bit with these injuries. You know. Let's talk about your boy Kaepernick because you brought that up earlier. San Francisco is 1-2. They got housed by Indianapolis. 27-7.
Yeah, Indianapolis came out and punched them dead in the mouth. They out-bullied a bully. It was just impressive to watch.
And you know what's funny, man? They made a great transaction in picking up Trent Richardson. That was brilliant, in my opinion. To give them to do that because now they have a running game, and you know, once you establish the running game, that opens up the pass game. Andrew Luck is athletic. He sits in the pocket. He's a great pocket quarterback, pocket passer. And now, all of a sudden, within 1 week, you know, Richardson gets in the end zone, 27-7 on the 49ers in Candlestick. It's you know.
There's an interesting article that came out. It's a little bit complicated to read because it's written by a business guy from the Wharton School of Business, but it's all about how him and a guy from the Chicago School of Business got together and they did a study on the NFL and the NFL draft. And the reason I bring this up is because they say when you trade down, you do better than trading up. And if you look at what the Colts gave up to get the 3rd round pick in that draft, all they did was give up a 1st round pick. Do you know what they would have had to given up on that draft day alone to get the 3rd pick?
Oh yeah.
They'd have had to give up probably the rest of their entire draft that year just to get the 1st and 3rd pick. And just to think, you gave up 1 1st round pick for a 1st round level talent. I mean, the guy had 1,300 all-purpose yards last year. I think he's going to fit into the system well. And Ahmad Bradshaw was like, Tyrone, if you're going to come in here, you better run at least this hard. And he was punishing people as a running back. And I think it's going to really set the tone because now the Colts have a bit of an attitude to them. They're not, you know, it's not just this sloth-looking guy playing quarterback who looks half retarded. They actually have an attitude behind him. And because he seems so, like, soft-spoken.
Right. Now, you look at somebody that was on his, look at how, like you said, like coming out of college, coming out of Bama, how much he was sought after. And now he went to a shit team in Cleveland, unfortunately for him. And now, like you said, he's with the Colts. You've got a passer. People have to respect that. You know, he can end up being one of the leading rushers.
I mean, they have some very young talent with the tight end, the quarterback, and the running back. If they pick up a young receiver in this upcoming draft that can produce and eventually replace Reggie Wayne, they could be nasty on offense for a while.
Now let's talk about some defenses. And let's go to Seattle, man, because Seattle is looking like
best team in football.
They're looking like the best team in football, and it starts with their defense. They've got shutdown corners. When I mean shutdown corners, you haven't seen anybody. They don't let you get through shit. And I mean, Russell Wilson is great, but when you have a defense and you're not forced to make up points and stuff like this, it makes you look a lot better on that. I'm not taking anything away from Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson he's got a great, quarterback rating, but he's passed for I think he's passed for maybe 600 yards this season. And one of the reasons is that, he's getting great field position, with his defense, they're stopping him. I mean, he's in situations
and he
where
doesn't,
they can go right.
and he's not playing from behind. So he doesn't have to get the ball down the field and score in 10, 15 seconds. I mean, their best defensive weapon is an offense that chews up the clock.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Marshawn Lynch, he was sitting on the bench after three quarters. I mean, the second half, they sat him. I mean, they're looking at staying healthy in this defense. As long as Seattle's defense could stay healthy, man, their offense will probably be more healthy because they won't be on the field as much. They look good. Andre
Johnson, is he playing next week? Didn't he leave the Texans game? Didn't he get hurt this week?
I'm not sure.
I thought he got tweaked. Well, put it this way. It'll be an interesting matchup next week when Seattle travels to Houston if Richard Sherman matches up one-on-one with Andre Johnson.
Yeah, because Johnson is a big physical receiver. If he's 100%, he's going to be physical, and that'll be a test for Richard Sherman.
Yeah, and Houston lost the game that I don't think anyone had them losing this past week or expected them to lose.
I mean, I just, that was just Houston. Hold on, did you say Houston?
Yeah, Houston lost to Baltimore. They got fucking smashed by Baltimore.
Oh, that's right, they did.
I didn't expect them to lose. I mean, I thought it was going to be a close game, but fucking Baltimore hung 30 on them, and Houston couldn't even sniff the end zone.
Yeah,
and we're talking about a Baltimore team without Ray Rice, and name a receiver.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, okay, good answer.
Yeah,
and their defense doesn't have the names it used to. I understand it was Ray Lewis Day in the city of Baltimore. Only 8 people got shot instead of the normal 15. But still, I mean, I did not expect Baltimore to put it on Houston like that, and they did. They fucking beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, it was a terrible homecoming for Ed Reid. But I mean, Houston just and they shot. Yeah, and they put it on them on offense, and then they shut them down on the defense side of the ball. So
they beat Houston up.
Now, something else I didn't expect, and I didn't expect it throughout the first part of the season, and he's starting to really look impressive to me, and this will probably be the last game we cover, is fucking the Dolphins and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you what. To the one Dolphins fan who sat there and cried when we put our week 1 video, this is like Sports Center. They only cover the good teams. Look, dude, you didn't expect your team to be 3-0 right now. No one else did either. So fucking calm down. Here's your coverage of your team. So sit back and fucking enjoy.
Yes, I mean, the Dolphins look good. You know what? And I think at the beginning, that's the team we picked. We thought that could win the AFC East. So right now, we're looking pretty decent, except for
well,
go ahead.
You have 2 undefeateds meeting each other next week, and that would be the 8:30 p.m. game on ESPN Monday night. You got Miami traveling to New Orleans. Right. New Orleans looks a world better, and all they did was add their head coach. They didn't add any big name free agent. They brought their head coach back. They're 3-0, and they're dominating on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, because they added Rob Ryan as their defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and the thing, they added Rob Ryan. They have a team that's intact. I mean, it wasn't just, I think, the fact that they had lost Sean Payton last year. They had lost Vilma for a while. They had lost their offensive one of their coordinators for a while. They had lost. They had so many people that were penalized in that organization that it was just like they were piecing shit together. So
and the other thing now is the players in the locker room don't have to field the question week in and week out. Well, how is it without Sean Payton? How is it without Sean Payton? How they can focus on football? They don't have all these dumbass reporters repeating the same questions. But they're going to have their hands full this weekend dealing with the Dolphins in that offense.
Yeah, they without a doubt. I mean, and it's funny because you're looking at how this stuff is. You're looking at the NFC South, and you've got New Orleans sitting at 3-0. You've got Atlanta, Carolina at 1-2, and Tampa that hasn't won a game. I mean, that's looking great for New Orleans. And then when you think about this, the only 2 other undefeated teams in the NFC are Chicago and Seattle.
Right. Well, I know that we wanted to make that the last game, but we need to talk about one more. Next week, you get My Fair Brady traveling to Atlanta. Now, the Patriots are undefeated, and they're going to Atlanta. So that'll be – I think Atlanta's going to win this game.
I agree with you. I think Atlanta, they've struggled a little bit. Obviously they had to play a home opponent, and they got edged out by fucking the Dolphins, and then they beat the Rams. And I think the first week they played was it the Saints, and they got edged out by the Saints. And
yeah,
so now they're going to play. Go ahead.
I think this is going to put them at 500. I think after this they're going to be 2-2, and this is when the Patriots catch their first loss.
Yeah, because I really feel like the Patriots is weak pass. Now,
dude, they're doing it with smoke and mirrors and magic tricks, and honestly, they're doing it with a great coaching and a great game plan and a scheme. I mean, that's what they've had in New England forever.
And they've got a quarterback that's just so fucking competitive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he won't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, he's just the winner. Like the guy, they said he's so competitive that it's actually aggravating. His players are like fucking annoying, but that's what you want. That's what you want. And I think the more time you give New England, as this season goes on and progresses, the more time that you give New England, they will get better. You know what I mean? They will get better. Belichick will find a way to fucking make shit work. Tom Brady will start to, develop a rapport with his receivers. And,
now,
get simple things.
Is this going to be the week where Gronk comes back?
Where what?
When Gronkowski, do you bring Gronkowski back this week if he's healthy? Because he's been practicing. This past week it was 50-50.
I mean, in my opinion, you know what? I base every game, you base the season on 4 games. Okay, if you can go 3-1 every 4 games, that's great because you end up being 12-4 at the end of the season. The Patriots have won their first 3 games. I wouldn't rush bringing Gronkowski back because everything seems to be going wrong with that guy lately, his back, his arm, and this. And you know what? If you can sit him out another week, let him get healthy, let him get used to playing, and keep him off the football field because ultimately, the Patriots still have a great shot of being in the playoffs and going deep in the playoffs. You want him healthy for the playoffs. That's just me. I don't know if I would bring him back. I don't, now if the Patriots start copping L's, which, they squeak these, first couple wins past, they squeak them by. But if they start catching L's, then yeah, you might want to consider bringing Gronkowski back a little bit faster. But right now, you're winning. You're finding a way to do it. I wouldn't rush bringing him back.
And for all you guys and gals out there who are watching this, or gal who's watching this, don't forget to leave your comment as to what you would do with the Solar Ruckus XL. I think for me right now, the person winning said that he would go into the bathroom, sit on the toilet, and play Eye of the Tiger while sitting on the can. To me, that was just funny. But don't try. I mean, try to outdo him, see what you can come up with. But I wish you the best of luck.
It is. It's a great instrument. We're giving away it free for whoever leaves the best comment, what they would do if they won it. It's going off right now. You can't hear it, George.
Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, you can? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a solar powered. Look at this thing, guys. Solar powered. 8-speaker boom box. You can play it with your Bluetooth, your iPhone. It connects automatically to your iPhone, your iPad, whatever. It can charge those things in the sun, so you don't need a cord. We're giving away one free for whoever leaves the best comment. The Eton Corporation, the maker of the console, is giving one away free too. And what they want you to do is to tweet them at Eton Corporation your best tailgating photo, and put the hashtag Eton Tailgate. They're going to determine who has the best tailgating photo, and they're going to ship you one as well. It's valued at $199. So
you might as well throw in that hashtag Jimmy's mom too, because Eton Corp is all about Jimmy's mom and supporting her.
We get all kinds of people. Where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy? We've told you people time and time again, Jimmy is in the Pacific Northwest hunting Bigfoot. And
exactly.
After he finds Bigfoot, he's probably going to go over, take a boat across the way into the parts of Russia or parts of Alaska, and he's going to look for the abominable snowman.
And I heard he was going to hole up with a Sherpa and climb Mount Everest with a one-legged pirate.
Jimmy is like fucking. He is just a pioneer. Okay.
Yes.
Don't sleep on that, people.
He's actually out looking for his hair.
Yeah, he's not going to find that. He'll find Bigfoot before he finds those strands. George. Anyway, we're out of here, people. Later.